Hello, this is Annette with Project Refine Life. Welcome to my channel and this mini haul for August 2024. August was my birthday month, so there's a few things that came into my collection this month. So I wanted to go ahead and share this little mini haul with you. So first of all, I got in the Pathwork Oracle. I was very excited about this deck. This deck is created by Daniel Ahern, who is a marriage and family therapist. The artwork is by Anna Torian, and we all know Anna and love her work. I was very intrigued. So first of all, the deck comes in this little box. It's a 40 card box. Very simple box, but effective, works fine. And even though it doesn't have the little notch holes, look at it, has this little thing right here where it's very easy to pull on and off. The guidebook is very nice. It's very colorful. You can easily understand and see the words. The words are dark enough for me to be able to read the book. It has 63 pages within the guidebook. As you can see, each card has a nice little description of each and every card. Okay, let's get into the idea of this particular Oracle deck. Ideally, what this deck is about going through the concepts of the metta meditation, or what's referred to as the loving kindness meditation. So this meditation was created beyond 25,000 years ago. It stems from India, and it is the idea of providing loving kindness in different ways to yourself, to your loved ones, to somebody who is neutral to you, to somebody who has been disruptive or difficult to deal with, to all sentient beings, and then tying it up with like this overall love and peace for everything and everybody. This deck explores that. Not all of them. It doesn't describe people who are neutral to you, but it covers pretty much the rest of it, enough for you to really understand the overall concept of the metta meditation. You don't need to be practicing the metta meditation or the loving kindness meditation in order to work with these concepts within this deck. The idea here is that you get this deck, and for 40 days, you work with one card at a time. And that pretty much covers the overall concept of the meditation. It's not for the meditation's sake to understand the meditation, but it is a way for you to work within yourself to provide loving kindness to yourself and to others, and just to find compassion. Now, the first card on the deck is Green Terra. It's a very different image than what I'm used to seeing, but I really love the image. As you can see, there are these flames around her and within her, and it almost looks like there's a person within. So she's offering this loving kindness and this beauty, this passion, this compassion for herself and for others, because once you can find that within yourself, then you can offer that and spread that out, like dropping a little pebble into the water. So I really love that it begins with her, and that it almost feels like she's protecting and covering this entire deck. These are the backs, and I think that this is just beautiful, rooted and then uplifting. What a beautiful, beautiful back. Also, the cardstock is really nice, really good to shuffle. I did shuffle it and then I put it back in order. I also edged the sides in this nice little compassionate blue color because I just felt like it was so appropriate. So I'm just going to go through this very briefly. I'm not going to go through every card, but it does offer loving kindness for yourself, for loved ones, for difficult people, for all sentient beings. And then it goes into compassion, sympathetic joy, same type of situation, equanimity, and then it focuses on your breath. to find your breath and to stay in your breath. Then it goes over the concept of forgiveness. Forgive me, I forgive you, I forgive myself. And after all of that, rest, because you've done the work at this point. So going through every day using these, I think, is so very helpful. It is really at the basis of meditation, of your foundational blocks within meditation. First is your breath, second is to release the mind, and then going into these concepts afterwards is a great way to begin a meditative practice. So using this as your guide, as a meditative practice, would be fantastic. The deck does come with a QR code within the back of the deck that I'm not going to share because it is a link to 21 guided meditations. I have done a couple of them and they're very nice meditations. In addition to that, it goes into mudras, and then it goes into the body, speech, mind, sila. Now these are concepts like yogic or Buddhist concepts. So ethics, nonviolence, generosity, emptiness, wisdom, life force, desire, pride, and fear. So dealing with all of those concepts, it does make you more compassionate if you are really working with it. And each description here is really nice. It's enough to work with this deck without being familiar with the meditation and without having to necessarily have already worked with that meditation or understand the meditation. It's not necessary. You can find it online if you look up loving kindness meditation, if you want to get a feel for the meditation. And then this deck kind of digs into each one of those lines that are provided within that meditation just a little bit deeper. So I think it's a fantastic deck if you want to start a compassionate meditation practice. Wonderful. And even myself, like I do the loving kindness meditation within all of my classes. I have practiced this meditation. It takes about 15 minutes or so to go through this meditation, but it is well worth it. It is fantastic meditation, and I'm already working with this deck, so I'm a few days into it and I'm enjoying it so far. Now the second deck that I got, because I've seen it in a few channels on TarotTube, is the Botanicals deck, 70 plants and flowers to enhance your life. I really like this deck. Now, when I went onto Amazon the other day, it was on sale, guys. Oh, let me talk about this for a moment. It's in one of those little drawers. I don't like the drawers, guys, but I'll probably find a box for it, or not a box. I'll probably find a bag for it. But the box itself is very sturdy and very pretty. Look at that, very pretty. It comes with a little guidebook, and it's just a brief introduction to working with the deck and telling you how to use the deck. Also, methods for preparing herbal remedies. So these are quick little methods of how to work with these particular herbs. And then a glossary in the back, which is pretty cool. I like it. Basic, but it's enough. So these images are all on these beige backgrounds, or very muted backgrounds rather. And I think that the images are beautiful and really crisp and clear. They're really pretty. I really like the images and the plants that they are using within the deck. On the back, each one has the name of the particular plant, the Latin name, and the intention, a small little description of why you would work with that particular herb and what it does. And then the bottom is the ritual. Now the ritual is not a ritual in the sense of having a ritual with that particular deck. It's more the way that you would utilize how to prepare that particular plant, which in itself is a ritual. Because if you are working with plant energy, if you are working with these herbs, if you're not handling it in a way where it is ritualistic, I think you're doing it wrong, to be honest, because These plants have a soul. These plants were provided to heal, to guide us, and we need to have reverence for all of these plants. So using it in a ritualistic manner, I think, is appropriate. That's just the way that I was trained. So each one of these has a little ritual, like how to prepare that particular plant. And I would suggest, even though it doesn't go through the steps of a ritual, treat it like a ritual, because it's important. Now I am going to show you another deck that I have within my collection that is very similar to this, with a very different black background. So this is 50 Plants That Heal. And when I got this deck, I was just so excited. I saw it at Barnes & Noble and I was like, what is that? And they had a book that went along with it. I didn't buy the book. I just got the deck. But as you can see, when I got this deck right here with the black background, I thought, wouldn't it be lovely if they came out with something just like this with lighter backgrounds to go with different decks? And lo and behold, somebody did. The backs of the cards are set up very similarly. So here we have the name of the card, the Latin name, active ingredients, a little description of the plant itself, benefits, and methods. So this one, what I like about this one is that this one you have to read through the benefits to see how you would work with that plant spiritually. This one tells you the intention right here in that green box, right off the bat. So intention, the rose, is divine love. So you can take that and kind of, you know, just let spirit speak to you and figure out what that means for you, or you could read this and figure out how to work with that energy. So for that reason, I think this one is a little bit nicer in that sense. And then also, I think that the images are sharper and clearer within the Botanicals Oracle, or deck rather. I don't know if it's the black background, but I just feel like they're a little bit sharper here. Don't get me wrong, each one of them holds a place within my practice. Working with hierbas, with herbs, is a very important part of my practice and a very important part of my healing sessions that I do as well. So each one of them has a place here. Now I'm going to show you something really quick because I'm really excited about this. So when I bought this deck, there was one deck that I had in mind to work with alongside this deck, and that is Tarot of the Drowning World. One of my all-time favorites. Seriously, I adore this deck. And this deck, I was so excited because it had very similar images to work with all of these herbal botanicals. Now, as you can see, now I have two to choose from. So I can go with a darker background or the lighter background, and both of them match up perfectly. I can work with them all together for a real powerhouse of a reading and really get into what it is that a person needs within them, or spiritual, or just to work with both of these decks. And as you can see, even just working with one alone, with the color palette that this particular deck has within the frame and then the inner part of the deck, you can work with both or one or the other. I think that this is so cool. And there are a few decks that I have where I can see working with these two side by side, or one or the other is really going to be powerful. So I am extremely excited about this deck. And I don't know what the price is currently on this particular deck, but when I went to spend a little bit of money for my birthday, this deck was listed at like $8.38. 70 cards for $8.38. I jumped on it. I'm like, heck yeah, I am getting that deck at that price. So that is the Botanicals deck. Very excited about that deck. Okay, The next deck that I received into my collection this month was the Oracle of the Roses. I know this has been around for quite some time. I'm not telling you guys about anything new or exciting. This is just a deck that has been on my list for quite some time, and I finally got it because, again, it was on sale. So I was trying to get the most for my money, and this was something that I had been wanting for quite some time. This deck, what I really like about it, I did use it already, and then I put it back into order because I thought that I just needed a little bit more time to kind of go through the images and really let each one sink in a little bit more. I think I was a little bit rushed when I first worked with it. There is something about this guidebook that I have to read to you. So here it says, why do some of us hate roses? Why do some of us love roses? Why do we persist in breeding new roses and have so many of us forgotten the wild ones? This deck is an exploration of the rose world, told through 44 universal archetypal personalities and patterns that share much with each of us. Not just the types of people the archetypes represent, but also the energy they convey upon us. I hope you discover a little more about yourself, your life, and your plans for the future while you explore with the roses. This guidebook is so nice. It even gets into growing roses. You want to grow a rose? This is how you do it. Look at the soil, all of that. But anyhow, really nice guidebook. It discusses the oracle meaning and the archetypal exploration, the botanical notes, and then also the overall energies within the plants. It goes into the meanings, uses, deities, and astrological sign. Amazing, amazing. I am so excited about this deck, and it goes with so many of my other decks. I'm really excited to work with this. I got it when I needed to. I put it off for quite some time, but I'm really excited about it. Another thing that I really liked within this guidebook, I just want to share with you real quick, is this page right here where it says Self-Care and Discovery Journaling, a Garden Walk with the Archetypes. And it gives you some very important questions when working with archetypal energy. So I just want to share this real quick. It says, 1, what does this archetype mean to me? 2, who in my life matches this archetype? Why? 3, what parts of me are in this archetype? Why not? 4, when I look at this rose, what do I feel, remember, and think? 5, what could I learn from this archetype? I think that those are fantastic, fantastic questions for you to jot down and work with, not only with this deck, but with any particular deck that's dealing with archetypal energy, tarot, oracle, whatever. The cards are really pretty. I don't know if I shared the backs. Did I? Yes, I did. The other ones. Okay. These are the backs. It just has a very slight rose pattern, kind of just put in there with some shading on the outside. And then we have this bright pink edging on the side, which I can see is already chipping. You see that? But it's really pretty. It's really, really pretty. And it's not like hard, but I'm kind of, you're going to see in a moment what I'm referring to right now. But one of the reasons that I put off getting that particular deck, this one, is because I have this one, the Rose Alchemy or the Rose Oracle for the Heart. This is a beautiful, beautiful deck. And it is like an up close picture or image of a picture of roses. But there's nothing on the outside of the card that is a direct idea of what this particular card means. You go into the guidebook, you go to ES, and then you read the guidebook, of course, which takes a little bit more work, and it's not opposing that. I really do enjoy decks that you can take some time with and dig into, but there is something about this particular deck that makes me pause before working with it. It is a very deep and beautiful deck, but it does require a little bit more attention and time. And so if you're looking for a good alternative, even though these aren't picture images, I think that this is a great deck to have. And roses remind me of my mom. So I'm not opposed to buying decks that have more roses, but that's what kind of held me off for so long to buy this deck, because I had the other deck. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the next purchase. This is the Rosebud Tarot. I know, old news, Annette, but it takes me a while sometimes to get a deck. I wanted this deck for a long time when it was in its indie phase, and I finally had said, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. I remember like last year, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the deck. And then I found out it's going mass market. So then I was like, forget it. I'm just gonna wait. Got this for my birthday, and I'm so glad I did. The images are beautiful. Cardstock is beautiful. The back is beautiful, just like the original deck, as far as the backings are concerned, and I believe the images as well. I do like some of the renamings of the majors. Very nice. I like the images. I like the colors. I like that you have these collage work type images. I love me a good collage deck. I love collage decks. So, and also there is a renaming of the suits and then also the quartz. So for the quartz, you have the curiosity of water, velocity of water, generosity of water, and sovereignty of water. That matches perfectly. It's great. So I think this is the watering cans on the cups. And I believe that this is the wands. What are they referred to? Let me go ahead and take a look, because I noted it down right here. I tagged it rather. The fire is staff. The suit of air is shears, which is brilliant. And then the suit of earth are pots. And I just thought, that's really cool. I really like the renaming of the suits overall. And I do like the renaming of the court system as well. And just when I thought that video was gonna wrap up, I had to add to it because there was a couple more things that came into my collection. Birthday month, big month, right? Every little thing you do is magic tarot. This is another one that came into my collection within the month of August, and it just slid in right at the end. I have not even worked with this deck yet, but one thing that I did do, because I have to tell you, in this guidebook, it's so really exciting. See, I can't even talk. But in this guidebook, there is a reference to a crystal that resonates with every card, plus a song and also a scent. So immediately, I haven't even worked with this deck yet, but immediately what I did is I put together the playlist on Spotify. I went through each of the 78 songs and added them in and created a playlist. So if you get this deck, or if you don't have this deck, but you want to hear the playlist, it's available on my public space on Spotify. So I will include the link below so that you can listen to the playlist. And you know, in creating the playlist, it's like 5 hours long, but in creating the playlist, I could see how a lot of them really resonated. I already had like a list of songs that I associated to these cards, and a couple of them were actually in here. So that was kind of cool. I thought that was neat. But let me just show you this deck. I think there's been a few walkthroughs already of this deck, and there's just something about this deck that really pulled me in to the attraction of this. For one, it's a collage deck, right? But oh my goodness, look at these animals, look at the black and white, and then you have this colorful work behind it. I think it is just great. Oh my goodness, I am so excited about working with this deck. So I really did get more than a few things in this month. Look at Oh my goodness. Every time I see that little pig, it reminds me of Charlotte's Web. I love Charlotte's Web. So Charlotte's Web was one of the books that I loved to read and reread when I was a child, and it just reminds me of Charlotte's Web. But I don't know, there's just something that I think it may be a little funky at times within the images, and I'll have to see when I'm working with it just exactly how it works out. But look at that little sea turtle. Oh my goodness, for the Two of Pentacles. I think a lot of these images make a lot of sense in looking at it, and then some of them I'm gonna have to sit and work with, which is great because that gives me some work to be done with this particular deck. And in addition to that, there's one more thing that I got, a lovely gift from my friend Jill at Feather Moon Healing. She knows that I love golden sheen obsidian, and I have a few of these palm stones that are a little bigger, and I kind of use them like a bar of soap so that I can cleanse my body. So, you know, in limpias, you use an egg, but you can use golden sheen obsidian in that same manner. But I love this because I can just hold this in my hand and rub it, and it is just a beautiful piece. I know you probably can't see this on camera, but both sides of this particular crystal, or stone rather, have that beautiful little like moon shape with just some layers in here, and it's just so pretty. So those were all of my gifts or things that I got within this little mini haul of a month. And you know what? This is a lot more than I usually have been adding into my collection for months now. So it's going to be interesting to see the way that I layer these into my practice and still keep working with decks that I want to pull out and that have been patiently waiting for me during the month of September. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.